Thank you for watching Highway 34 Connection. Today's podcast will begin shortly. Highway 34 Connection is a podcast where a trio of friends who have become brothers sit down and discuss random topics, or even break down a bracket and even discuss American sports and news. Now sit back and relax as we give you our thoughts and honest opinions on the topics at hand. Once again, thanks for picking Highway 34 Connection.
The following podcast may use videos, pictures, news articles, and even audio from another channel. Highway 34 Connection doesn't own the rights to those. We will shout out who or where we get them for the podcasts. They own the copyrights, not us here at Highway 34 Connection. Please remember that all of our podcasts are unscripted, unfiltered, and unedited. Podcasts we do are pro wrestling talk, where we discuss the world of pro wrestling and give spoilers.
Talking football, where we talk about the current season of the NFL, XFL and USFL, where we give our thoughts on each week of gameplay. We also give our predictions on what teams will win each game.
Conspiracy theories, we sit down and talk about conspiracy theories and why we think something is real or just a theory.
Let's chat it up. This is a podcast where we just talk about random topics here on the channel. We could talk about anything, so please be warned, our podcasts are intended for mature audiences only.
Howdy.
Good morning.
Morning. It ain't morning yet. It's 11 p.m. Ain't another morning for another hour. Unless you're on the East Coast. So, what's on the agenda tonight?
Hi, Pixie. Well, we're gonna start with.
Pixie says here that Pixie's, because she's commenting, and yet, oh, there it is. Now it says one up there. For every time it does that, I've always noticed that sometimes she's there, then it doesn't always register that she's there. It's weird.
I think it does it to a little bit of everybody. Everybody. Chief, if you're luring in somewhere, just so you know, I did send you a text stating this. You were notified.
What about notified about what?
Send a text in our group chat.
Yeah.
So
why does he get upset? Does he get upset if you don't tell him?
No, he's just like, he mentioned it the other day that he wished that we would know when we were doing this, because he might be awake and might want to be a part of it. So just send a text. So we'll start out with the Idaho murder trial here. This case is bizarre, dude. We have mentioned this time and time again.
It's been bizarre since it started.
Yeah, it's been ridiculous. So this was from April 5th. This is what we have here. This is off of CNN, because apparently they're the only one that has anything new on this. But it's kind of interesting.
And everybody should know that
we're not going in that leftness. Okay. But anywho, the article is actually quite intriguing, so I'll read it. The judge overseeing Bryan Kohberger's quadruple murder case lambasted the suspect's defense attorney Thursday, saying she commissioned phone surveys to potential jurors that could hinder Kohberger's ability to get a fair trial. Defense attorney Ann Taylor had sharp accusation of her own, saying the judge violated her client's right to due process by ordering a stop to the anonymous survey without hearing the defense's side first. The courtroom drama marked another unexpected turn in the case against Kohberger, who is accused of fatally stabbing. And then they just keep going through that. Kohberger's attorney said the phone survey was an important part of her efforts to seek a change of venue for Kohberger's trial. Given the vast amount of local media coverage on the case, the Leda County prosecutor Bill Thompson said he had no problem with the defense commissioning responsible proper surveys, but the surveys cannot stand. And she said that's completely reckless, the prosecutor says. The heated hearing Thursday took place after prosecutors asked Leda County District Court judge to issue an order prohibiting contact with the prospective jurors outside of the court. The judge granted the prosecution's request. Scheduled Thursday's meeting to hear from both sides of the case.
Interesting.
And then the prosecutors then read an excerpt from the court June 2023 non-dismension order, also known as a gag order. Court order the counsel for all parties and agents and other attorneys are prohibited from making any extra statements, written or oral, that the lawyer or agents knows or reasonably should know will have sustainable likelihood of prejudice or otherwise influence the outcome of the case. So they just said it. It's still a case. They're still investigating.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah.
So
they have to be prepared.
Bear in mind, we have a guy in custody and we're still investigating.
Well, yeah, that's a no.
Which tells me, again, they still have nothing on this guy. Yeah, they've charged him, but what's taking so long for a trial date? Because your case is shit and they know it.
They also, they're allowed to invest. The prosecution, there's two reasons why. The prosecution can still investigate throughout the trial until the prosecution rests. Then, except in special circumstances, new evidence from the prosecution can't be given. So they can still investigate. Two, they have to keep investigating just for the chance that, hey, holy shit, this whole time we're wrong. And they're ready to say, you know what, we got the real guy now. We're only, a year or so late about this. That's kind of the facts about that. Insidious froze. Hello?
I'm here.
Okay.
So, yeah,
I just got a message from Chief saying he already went to bed.
Well, we have two watching, so I'm going to guess one's lurking. Accusations fly between judge and attorney. That's all this case has been, is accusations.
3 people watching.
Yeah. Well, 3 lurking. One actually watching, 2 lurking. But yeah, as this Idaho quadruple murder trial keeps going, it's more or less to me that they bounce around from one to another, and it's all still, like we said, just mind-boggling. I don't know. Nobody ever comments but you, Pixie. Sorry.
So you tell me this. I've asked you before, and I'm going to ask you again. I'm probably going to keep asking until this is over. If you were sitting on that jury, are you convicting this kid?
Without evidence to sustain anything? No. If it was me, no.
So the question
let me ask you that same question in reverse.
Mm-hmm.
Would you? Knowing what we know right now.
How is that asking me the question reverse? That's just asking me the same question.
Exactly, because instead of you asking me, I'm asking you, so I'm putting it in reverse.
So,
in other words, I'm using the Uno reverse card back at you.
Yeah, okay. Draw 2. No, I wouldn't, because there's too many red flags in this. And so there you go. You have 2 unbiased people that are looking through this up. That's all the way out here in Iowa. So the question is, they're saying, I don't see enough to convict. What the fuck? righty then. And see, this is all
I'm all about a conspiracy, but I'm really concerned about that one.
I'm more concerned about the guy's name. That right there is a conspiracy.
What Francis Scott Key operation? We're gonna have a talk. Let's have a talk about that. What do you know that I don't know?
Well, man, we were on this other thing,
and yeah, I'm more interested and intrigued in that. Like, what do you know that I don't know? You're talking about leaking documents? Leak it out.
While he's doing that, my question about the thing is, do you even see them be able to find 12 jurors that are going to say guilty, knowing that there's all these holes and everything? I mean, you just got us two saying we wouldn't have enough to convict. Do you think they can find 12 people that are? Because you only need one to say not guilty.
Well, the problem is, this is me talking. They're in it. No matter where they go in that state, I'm sorry, it's Idaho. This happened there. You had 4 teens killed.
Maybe
they're looking for somebody to blame,
but maybe waiting this long. I've done some thinking. Maybe waiting this long benefits the defense, and here's why. Because
but it's not benefiting the family, though. The families are the one that's keeping this irrelevant. They're the ones that.
But it lets emotions die down and let people actually think, hey, do we really have the right guy here? We're not. The 12 jurors will have enough time to not go by impulse. They'll be able to go by facts.
Well, the thing is, they really don't have a solid alibi, except for him driving around, which they did ping his cell phone being near the residence, but they never mentioned the time it was near the resident. If you see where I'm going.
Yeah, but you also said that they found that his defense has evidence with the same reasoning, the cell phone locations, to prove he was somewhere else when the murder took place.
They're trying to get that. They're trying to get all of his cell phone pings proving that he was driving around. If they can't prove that, under that circumstance alone, I would probably go guilty, because that means you have no alibi. You've got no witnesses. But what gets me is you're driving around by yourself in a car. You don't call anybody, not one person that whole time.
Well, why would you?
I mean, why would you not? I mean, why would you?
Run me through that logic. Go start from scratch. Well, run me through that.
Because, for example, when I'm riding around, I'm calling my wife, letting her know where I'm at, or sometimes I call and bug my brother. Sometimes I call and bug my dad, especially if I'm driving. Especially if I'm driving and I'm bored. Yeah, I would call somebody just see what they're doing while I'm driving.
Well, so I can respond to that. There's been times where it was 1 a.m. I just got off work and I didn't want to deal with anybody, and I just drove for an extra half an hour with the window down and just
sundown, huh?
Huh?
Well, did you lasso that son of a bitch and pull it down?
Shut up. You know what I was trying to say. I'm tired. Anyway, my point is I put the window down, enjoy the breeze, and just enjoy the drive for a half an hour. Not call a damn person. Just enjoy the evening.
I'm just saying, it's kind of, but you also got to think he's a college kid.
Okay.
You're telling me you have stuff on your mind, whether it be class, school, stuck on something. Yeah. And you don't call anybody?
There's been times when I've just
here's the question. This is the one that gets me. He was caught at his parents' house.
Okay.
So obviously that trip was planned. Where was his phone calls to his dad at that time?
Dude, I had to drive like 12 hours. When I left the military to come home, I drove 12 hours that day. I didn't call anybody. I mean, I don't know if I called. No, wait. 8 hours that day. 8 hours. I drove 8 hours that day. I didn't necessarily call anybody to let them know where I'm at. I may have called them like here and there, like every maybe few hours. Like, hey, this is where I'm at now. But there's
No, I mean, you would have made a phone call talking about plans, that kind of thing.
not
So
necessarily.
obviously it's coming up. I mean, obviously you left the very next day. You see where I'm going with this?
I do, but I'm not sold.
But
Because
still,
me personally, I've been known to have nice long drives. And not
yeah,
call
you have.
anybody
I've
or-
also known you to have a nice long drive doing a podcast with us.
So
My point still stands.
that because that's when you guys wanted the podcast.
But you also have to think. We're not talking about us here. We're talking about a kid, obviously in school, obviously a PhD profession. If he got stuck on something, you're telling me he wouldn't have made a phone call.
I was a college student once myself. Sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't. I don't know.
All I know is if you're out driving around for so many hours and you don't make one fucking phone call, you're lying.
But I've been known to drive around for an hour.
You have, but we're talking about teenage us, kid us. But back then, we also didn't have phones like that. You're telling me he didn't snap a picture along the way. He didn't post on media, so something along the way. Something while driving.
I did it when I was driving when I was a teen.
The point is, anything that could show a stamp of the time frame that he could have been at, but he was somewhere else. Like, oh, wait, he posted something on Facebook this time. He ain't going to stop stabbing somebody to post something. You see where I'm coming from?
I do now. You're trying to say, dude, there's your evidence right there. But
yes,
but
you're a college student who's driving around. You're not active on social media. You're not active on your Instagram.
Hey, Pixie, Pixie, are you still listening to this? Okay, chime in. Has there been time where you've just driven around without necessarily calling somebody? Because I've done it multiple times. Apparently, he thinks it's not normal. So help me out.
College kid. We're not talking
about a college kid. Even when I was a college kid,
but we're not. But you failed to mention we didn't have this shit.
No, we still had flip phones, and they still work just as much as anything.
But you're forgetting we have Facebook now. We have Instagram. Back then, we had MySpace on a computer.
Wait, sorry. Okay, Pixie. Have you ever gone out driving and, for like a half an hour or so just to drive, like get away from anything, and yet you don't necessarily call anybody? You just
not social anything on social media.
You just drive. You just have some me time. Because I do it all the time. He thinks it's abnormal. And I even said I did it even when I was younger. Yes, well, walks for me. Well, it's walks for me. I don't have a license. But there you go.
But again, I also said put ourselves in this time frame being a college student. You forgot that part. We're not in college
I did, and I'm telling you, even then I did.
Yeah, but you're forgetting the part again. Social media is your key. Especially a college kid, they don't stay off the damn shit.
Okay, first of all, you're right. We didn't have Facebook back then, but I think we had a
exactly.
Hold on, I think it was called what?
MySpace, and you can only get it on a computer, not on your phone.
That's because our phones didn't have internet like that.
Exactly. That's where I'm coming from.
Oh, for the love of God. You shouldn't be using your internet on your phone while driving.
What?
You heard me?
I YouTube while I drive.
Well, you shouldn't be. Well, listening to music and videos is one thing. Posting is something else, and you should know that. See,
look, I've done that too.
Look what she just said.
I'm still not sold. Sorry. I'm going by our era, their era here, not ours. This kid is 23 years old. You're telling me he ain't posting nothing up while he's driving. You're
I'm
telling me
saying
he
you
isn't
don't
doing
have
nothing.
a point. I'm just saying
I'm still
that's
going by
not
what
cool
I'm
cut.
standing. It is too.
I don't think it is because a lot of people like to just have some me time, especially a kid who's going for a doctorate degree. He probably has all this stress around him. You're telling me you want to just want to just roll the window down and just have a
Not buying it.
Pixie just said it. It's a coping skill. There you go.
Not buying it.
Okay. Well, that's also because you got the attention span of a 2-year-old.
No, it's called I think outside the damn box. I'm looking at a whole freaking murder case here. I would want to go through every cornerstone turn.
Because he knew, unless he did it, of course. We're doing the assumption he's innocent. Innocent until proven guilty. Assumption of innocence. If he is innocent on this, then how? Unless he knew, holy shit, there is a murder going on at that house 2 miles down. I gotta make a ping, so I know I'm not going to be. Come on. Unless he knew the murder was taking place, he wouldn't know to make a ping or a post. Hey guys, I'm here. Please do not suspect me. Hi. Click. I get what you're saying. I'm just not sold. I also don't think that's enough. They teach it at the psych ward.
And what was his profession?
Nice. Oh shit, that's actually a nice because so that he would know to take a nice walk or a nice drive without anything attached to his hip.
Still not sold. I'm sorry, it just seems unregular to me. A kid his age. And the only thing they really have on him, from what I see, is DNA found on a knife sheath that wasn't his blood, apparently.
DNA. So they don't have DNA. Do they have a DNA or not? Because you said his blood's not his, so therefore it wouldn't be his DNA unless he has a brother.
No, they went off his dad. That was off of a thing of ancestry, but they're still trying to get that thrown out because it's not completely accurate. Do we know if they took down any of his social medias?
I don't know. I haven't really been looking at that.
Well, that's just one thing we've never really looked at.
If it's private, we wouldn't be able to see it anyway.
Fair enough.
I mean, and honestly, if you were being on trial for murder, wouldn't you want that private for a while so people aren't hassling the fuck out of you?
He's in jail.
And?
What good's it going to do him? He can't have a phone in there.
Maybe he can. There's a lot of jails these days that let people have phones. And remember, he's in jail, not prison.
Fair enough.
Yep. See? Pixie just confirmed me. They have access to stuff like that in jail now.
But with him, I don't know if they would.
Why? He has to have legal contact with his lawyer.
Yep. And they'll make him go there.
They now have kiosks that they can use now. Huh. Interesting.
I don't care. So far, no. Not that I found. We want to jump over to the other one, or do you have anything else you want to add on to this one?
Now let's talk about the next part. A while back, me and Insidious were talking about a couple of girls that where were they missing from? Texas, Colorado, Oklahoma. I forgot where they were missing from. I'm trying to pull up the notes. And I said, sadly, that on how long they've been missing, they're probably not going to be found alive. And, well, yeah. So what do you got, Insidious? What do you know more? What do you got about it?
Have you pulled your notes up at all?
No, I'm having some issues in here.
Yeah, I'm having the same. All right. So I have it now.
Okay.
It's loading just slowly. So they have been found. Statins, both of them are deceased. So the Oklahoma Chief Medical Examiner Office announced Tuesday has possibly identified both of them found in Texas County, Oklahoma, as missing Kansas women, Veronica Butler and Julian Kelly. They have been missing since March 30th. They were driving in Oklahoma to pick up Butler's children for a birthday party in Kansas and never arrived. Authorities later found their vehicle abandoned, and there was some stuff that they did not officially tell, but they'll get into that. On April 13th, Oklahoma police announced 4 people were arrested and charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, 2 counts of kidnapping, 1 count of conspiracy to commit murder in the first degree in connection with Butler and Kelly's disappearance. 4 individuals are Tad Collum, 43, Tiffany Adams, 54, Bull Twombly, 50, and Cora Twombly, 44. All 4 remain in custody.
Is there a way that you can screen share and show us the mugshots here?
No, I cannot actually, but I can see if I can do it this route.
Interesting.
On April 14th, police recovered 2 dead bodies in Texas County amid the investigation into disappearance of Butler and Kelly. Identification was responsible of the medical examiner's office, which made the announcement Tuesday. On On Monday, the affidavit for probable cause for the arrest warrants of 4 suspects was released, detailing the alleged motive and murder kidnapping. In the court documents, investors say they discovered Butler was in problematic custody battle with suspect Tiffany Adams' son for the custody of Butler's 2 children. Adams is the grandmother of Butler's children and mother of the kids' father, Ricky Wrangler Rickman, who has legal custody according to documents. Amid the investigation into Butler Kelly's disappearance, authorities say they found their vehicle abandoned in rural Oklahoma near the Kansas border. The examination of the vehicle and the area surrounding found evidence of severe injury, according to the affidavit, which notes that blood was found on the edge of the roadway. Butler's glasses were also found near the roadway south of the vehicle, near a broken hammer. And a pistol magazine was found inside Kelly's purse in the scene, but no pistol was found according to documents. Adams, her boyfriend and fellow suspect Ted Cullum, and 2 other suspects, married couple Cole and Cora Twombly, are allegedly members of the anti-government group God Misfits, according to the affidavit. All 4 suspects are scheduled to make their initial court appearances on Wednesday.
Well, it looks like this case is going a little faster.
And I'm actually was going to get into that. I wish I could find the one I originally got into on this. They went into more detail. They actually have a key witness that told them to clean the truck out. And yeah, it was a bad deal. Very detailing. And I wish I could find that. Where they told one person to maybe it's this one here. Yeah, it was this one here. Let me get into it. It says on Monday, the affidavit of probable cause for the arrest 4 suspects. So we went into that. So on March 30th, the day of Butler and Kelly's disappearance, Kelly was chosen to supervise Butler's court order custody exchange. Adams' preferred custody supervisor, which would have been Cheryl Brun, was allegedly unavailable for the March 30 exchange. However, told investigators Adams had told her to take off. Children's father was allegedly in Oklahoma rehabilitation facility at the time of disappearance, according to documents. Investigators report that Adams claimed she was at home with Butler, called canceled the custody exchange at 9 a.m., which that did not happen. And this is where they said the evidence near the vehicle amid the investigation found it abandoned. Examination of the vehicle and area surrounding found evidence of severe injury, which notes blood was found on the roadway, edge of the roadway. Glasses were also found. So yeah, so the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, and Texas County Sheriff Office said in a statement on X, the bodies will be transported to the office of Oklahoma.
So there are Kansas people going to Texas. They were found in Oklahoma and recovered in Oklahoma, and so this will definitely be a federal case because it crossed state lines.
Well, I guess it's Texas, Oklahoma. I guess it's another town. I guess I did not notice that because they never said that before. It's called Texas, Oklahoma. So they never left.
It's called Texahoma.
No, it's Texas County, Texas.
Yep, Texahoma. I actually I stayed in that town once when I was driving, so I know that town well. Well, I don't know it well. I mean, I've driven through it, so it's a little itty bitty town. Unless I'm thinking of a different one. I mean, there was like 2 of these towns. Anyway. Pixie, what do you got to say about that? Anything? You got anything to say? No? Nothing? Do you see how fast they are going with this case, though? I mean,
yeah, it did not take them
they're already going to the trial. Why?
I don't know. But okay, here it is. So this is where the plot gets really thick. And I'll tell you what, this will tell you really how fast they're going. Check this out. Court documents name various other people in the community, including one person, a witness, believed to be present during the attack on Butler and Kelly, and the owner of the property where the burner phones were found and buried. But McKee said there are no suspects at large based on the evidence and information. And we are able to obtain throughout the entire investigation what was found inside of the vehicles, witness, family, and friends of the victims that were able to talk to throughout this entire process. We were able to gain the information to determine that these 4 people are responsible for both these women's going missing.
But what does it mean? But what does it mean to you?
Well, they know. I mean, they could seek the death penalty.
Oklahoma, yeah.
Yeah. So in the original one I was trying to find, this was the original one I read up on. They went into what the girl, they had her clean the truck. They said, what did you do? And she said, it's handled. Don't worry about it. And she goes, well, what about the other woman? And they said, she didn't do nothing wrong. And she goes, she did something wrong once in her life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they were very heartless people. And it all goes down to, and this was the grandmother too of the kids.
That's
the one that, yeah. So now the only person they have now is the dad, who's in a correctional facility.
Well, shit.
And, you know, and this, and, you know, when we say this enough, and I know this is a conspiracy podcast, and I know they're in the walls, Kayatachi. Evil always lurks.
What the fuck?
Evil always lurks around. And it's sad to say that one of the women was a preacher's wife that was just there to help.
Do you even want to address what Mortem just said?
The black midgets. Oh, fuck. Only you, Itachi. Evil by that is Donald Trump's ass crack. That's Biden. Hey, somebody said somebody fell today. I'm like, he did? Did they at least get him a wheelchair this time? As an autistic bitch. Oh shit, dude. Old robot who has a tiny battery that can't fuck
Okay, we are completely getting off topic. Do we have anything else to say? I gotta go get the book. I gotta pick the wife anyway.
Yeah, I'm supposed to go pick up my uncle too. He's been calling. Well, on that note, Itachi, we are closing this out. Best comment of the night,
thank you for making our
right
podcast.
there. Yes, right there. Best comment. No, it got weird at this top one, Itachi, before you leave. We have to post this one. Tachi, read that. Give me your comments, please.
Oh, good Lord.
We must wait. Itachi must read that comment and give us his thoughts. Come on, Mortem 9. You got to read the comment. Give us your thoughts. What Francis Scott Key operation don't we know?
I'm guessing Insidious is going to be spent the next 24 hours looking it up, and that'll be the next podcast.
Probably not, because I'm going to bet there ain't shit to find.
Dude, oh no. What if it's part of that?
The Illuminati.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say it. You did.
Actually, I'm not going down that rabbit hole again, ever. Ever.
He's afraid.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So, obviously, Itachi has no comment for that one. And don't worry, we don't either. But anyways, night, guys. Have a good rest of your weekend. It was fun.
I was.
Debating, as always.
I am Insidious. Thanks for watching this podcast.
This is The Ghost, and thank you for watching our podcast.
And I am the Chief. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great night.